Unfortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States.
I don't like clowns.
It's a cultural divide. I'ma get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the Myuu. This is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
They are children.
Unfortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House, and as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States.
As they have decided to go after immigrants and things like that, and they've said, oh, they taking your black jobs. They taking your black jobs. Not really. They are obviously jobs that they want us to go back to, such as work in the fields, all right? Those immigrants that come into our country, they work the fields, something that we ain't done in a long time. And clearly, he is trying to make us go back to the fields.
13.
Fatigued.
Effective form of protest you have right now that you can start immediately. Put a mask back on. Stop letting them observe your face. And have the side benefit of better health and protecting the rest of us in the world. Put a mask back on.
Shut your mouth.
One lib suffering from Musk derangement syndrome just got arrested outside of Boston for vandalizing random Teslas.
Why do you think you have the right to do that?
It's my free speech.
Free speech not on your car?
Oh.
Yeah? That doesn't matter. It's not up to you to say anything.
You guys can get a better car. If you can afford that car.
It's not up to you to say anything.
I guess we have a difference of opinion.
And yes, that was a Palestinian flag strapped to the back of that guy's bike. In a different incident outside of Boston, half a dozen charging stations were torched overnight, and the suspects are still at large. On the West Coast, a radical lefty activist was charged with firebombing and shooting up a Tesla dealership.
On Tuesday, a man was arraigned after police linked him to two separate cases at the Salem Tesla Center. Police say these surveillance images from the dealership show Adam Matthew Lansky throwing Molotov cocktails at the dealership and sparking fires. Police also allege that on a separate occasion, Lansky fired several rounds into the dealership and at least one vehicle.
The left used to care about mass shootings, but when a they-them is pulling the trigger, crickets.
If I had a jock for a son, I'd be the laughingstock of the men's choir club.
It's my life, Dad.
Don't make me slap you. I will slap your face so super hard.
Us to try to identify them in such a way that they would qualify for long-term Social Security disability. Now,
what?
Yeah. And long-term Social Security disability is for life.
Yeah.
So if they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they are as good as set up for life for medical treatment.
That doesn't sound like a refugee to me. Just being honest.
Yeah.
That sounds like somebody who's planning on staying here.
Yeah,
A refugee
right.
stays until the problem's over and then goes home.
Well, that's right. And so they instructed us to try to identify, to try to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients. They're called clients. Yeah.
Okay.
Because clients pay.
Sure.
See?
Sure. I'm starting to
so,
see where this is leading here.
So they told us that we needed to talk to the client and ask them if they'd had any headaches, recurring headaches, or any lower back problems. Excuse me, anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Part of the screening is supposed to be, are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever?
Right.
No. Okay, good, you can come in.
Yeah.
You get on the airplane. Are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever? Yes. Good, so we can give you disability.
Correct.
What?
Yes.
This is insanity.
Yes, it is insanity.
But in order to get Social Security disability benefits, don't you need a Social Security number?
Well, we were instructed in the meeting that one of the first things we were supposed to do was sign them up for Social Security. Yeah.
Wait. This is unbelievable. So they come over here and they get a Social Security number.
Right.
They become legal.
Correct.
Are you pulling my leg?
No, I'm not. And then after we processed them for a Social Security card, then we were to process them for a U.S. passport.
No, you're not.
So that's about the time I kind of decided, okay, I was done. I've heard everything I want to know. I was so angry about this, that they would receive a U.S. passport. It just, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we were giving these people Social Security cards and U.S. passports and free medical, free housing, free food, free everything.
Yeah, but the thing that bothers me, because the food we can recoup from, and the money irritates me, but we can earn it back and we can stop the program or whatever it is. But once you give somebody a Social Security number and you give them what's considered globally the golden ticket, which is a U.S. passport.
Right.
That is beyond comprehension that we're doing this.
That's right.
Do bureaucrats know this is happening?
Well, interestingly enough, no, they don't. A lot of governors are unaware of how many refugees have come into their state, where they're located, under what conditions they've arrived. And I believe this is intentional. I believe this is intentional. Now, we do know that the governor of Texas and the governor of Tennessee have both stopped this, and they're refusing to take any more refugees. In fact, the federal government has filed a lawsuit against both of those states because they're refusing to take any more refugees.
How dare you keep your people safe?
Right.
But, okay, so let's just say all the states are saying we want to pull out of this refugee resettlement program from the federal government, then they're fine, right? There's no other way the refugees are getting in?
Well, no. The state can assert that they no longer want to receive refugees, and then the federal government says, all right. And so then they start implementing a program called the Wilson Fish program. And Wilson Fish simply bypasses the sovereignty of that state. In other words, the state no longer processes the refugees. That means, in plain English, you no longer get to know how many are coming in, when they're coming in, where they're going, how much money is being spent on them, whether they're diseased or not diseased. You've lost all control over the entire situation, and as a sovereign state, you've relinquished that. And so Wilson Fish comes in then, and all of the federal monies that are set aside for this program bypass the state and go to third-party entities. And that would be something like Catholic Charities or Jewish Vocational Services. So it would bypass the state entirely, and they would take over the entire process of processing the refugees.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And as a U.S. citizen and as a citizen of the sovereign state of Missouri, I am not in favor of that. I think we need to maintain our sovereignty just like we would in the United States. Honestly, we are first a citizen of the state of Missouri because we are a sovereign state. And then we're a citizen of the United States of America. But our first sovereignty and citizenship is to our state. And a lot of people don't realize that. So in order for us to maintain the health and welfare and the security of our borders, we must know who's coming and going.
Yeah, you have to.
Right.
You have to. And FUNU doesn't work for me.
FUNU doesn't work for me either.
And giving them a Social Security number and a passport actually makes this problem worse, not better.
Correct.
Have we been placed at risk? I mean, you mentioned that this is an invasion. Are we at risk?
I believe we are at risk, Josh, because when they come in, we're urged to compatriate them with fellow refugees, those who have come in before them. We are urged to locate other communities of refugees from the same country of origin, the same language, the same culture as those who are arriving. And so when they come in, and we have had Syrians come in, and we know Syrians are on the list of those 7 countries that have been banned. And so we've received Syrians here in Missouri.
Even after the ban?
Yes.
What?
Yes. And so these Syrians are coming in, and we know that they are coming from a country of origin that has malevolent intent toward us as a nation. And we now know they're not being vetted, and we now know that not only are they coming from a malevolent country, or a country that has malevolent intent, and we now know they're not vetted, we're giving them support, and we're giving them a passport.
What name do they put on the passport if their name on the thing is Funu?
I don't know.
Can they just pick a name?
So President Trump has freed a bunch of captives from Venezuela. He's freed a man from Russian captivity, and he said another will be freed tomorrow. Makes me wonder, what were the Biden administration doing all this time? Are they uninterested or just completely inept? We're at the point now where Trump's presidency is so flawless that it's making me realize truly how dark the last 4 years have been. Americans were just sat in jail cells all around the world, and the most powerful country on earth had no interest in trying to save them because they were too busy trying to put trannies in every single possible position of power. We talk about how America is multiracial and it's a multi-ethnic meritocracy. So I have an idea. How about this? If you hold an American passport and you still, after these last few weeks of genuine leadership, do not like Donald Trump, if you still believe that Kamala Harris would have been a better option, how about you all just off? All of you leave America. Because let me tell you something. You will find plenty of Western-minded Brits, South Africans, Germans, French, all these people from all across the modern civilized Western world who love President Trump and would be glad to have him as their leader. Do you have any idea how jealous Europe is right now? You could take every dickhead who doesn't like Trump and fuck him off out of America and replace him with Europeans who love Trump and love his leadership. And then we can have a 100% approval rate behind one of the best leaders in modern history, and America can win like it's never won before. If I see any dipshit try to convince me that even in light of Trump's monumental successes, you believe somehow the last 4 years were a perfect representation of American excellence leadership, you don't even deserve the fucking passport.
It is a messed up world.